Then we'll turn it over to Josh to introduce today's program.
Change to our program today. Originally, we were supposed to have Angeles Godinez, but instead we have the pleasure of having Itzel Chavez from Centro Cultural. A little bit of background with Centro. Centro Cultural is Oregon's oldest Latino nonprofit. Founded in 1972, they've developed a long-standing trust with local communities of color as an agency that delivers quality, culturally specific programming. Their legacy is deeply embedded in the history of Washington County's Latino activism and the role they've played as an advocate for equity over the last few decades continues to guide their course of action today. If you can please welcome Itzel Chavez from Centro Cultural.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that welcome. That was a really great, I feel welcomed. And I appreciate just listening and being a part of the first half of the talk, because it sounds like we're both very responsive organizations to what's going on in the community. And I just appreciate that there's a lot of organizations doing the work, right? Because it's always better when we have more hands on the table, like more heads at the table too. So I have a presentation. Let me see if I can present. Okay, so are we able to see that? Okay, I'm going to see if I can present that. Okay. One second. So I'm the development coordinator. So I do grant writing, fundraising. I also work in direct economic assistance. So like any, funding, like direct funding that families need in an emergency, I also coordinate that work. And Angeles Godinez had to have she had a family emergency. Everyone's okay, but she just needed to go. So I appreciate that I could be here for you all. And I was trying to look into a Rotary and what are the kinds of things that you all do, so I can really speak to you and try to tailor my kind of like a presentation. And it sounded like a lot of community service, volunteering, organizing, mobilization, which I really appreciate, because I've always been a volunteer, and I've always, not always, but I've had a lot of moments in my life where I have needed a volunteer. And so when I was really young, I didn't speak English super well, and I went to a newcomer school that was bilingual. And I didn't know that I couldn't speak English very well, because as a kid, you just communicate what you need, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And there were a lot of people who worked at the school, and later I learned that a lot of them were actually volunteers. And they were absolutely my favorite. They really helped us learn how to play together, apologize to others when we accidentally or intentionally hit them, and they also helped us learn the distinction between English and Spanish, although I still say that Spanglish is my first language, but they tried to teach us the distinction, right? And they did it, I think, because they knew that many kids like me needed help. And in a way like that, I needed help. And in many ways, this is what we all do. And this is what Centro does for, the last 50 years, as Josh has said. And the founders that created Centro, they were 14 migrant families who were working up and down the coast and they saw Washington County as a place where they could really call home. And so they mobilized food and community resources so that we could actually call Washington County home. And they're doing what the people did for me, breaking down those language barriers, helping youth understand social and emotional interactions, and I'll read our mission, which is a home for Latino cultures. Centro serves the diverse community by promoting personal growth and empowerment. And we do that through like our commitments, which is, a dedication to pathways to prosperity, to like a whole well-rounded community, and to also empowering leaders. And I think of it as like providing different platforms for people to participate in leadership and breaking down those barriers that would prevent someone from, participating in leadership. So getting all of those basic needs like food and housing and transportation so that people can be on these platforms and participate in leadership positions, whether that's as an elected official or as like an entrepreneur at a business or, as a parent. And to talk a little bit about like our focus areas, or you can think of these as like program pillars. We, in the pandemic last year, it was just wild because we were providing a lot of services already, but we just had to adapt, as I believe you all have had to adapt to the pandemic. And we still kept going, we still kept offering services. So for civic engagement and leadership, in 2020, we did 1,500 hours of community mobilization. So these were like focus groups for Metro, for Oregon Department of Transportation, really trying to get a Latino perspective on the greater infrastructure of our area. And, and then we also did, what's it called? Like climate justice workshops for the community in Spanish. So what is recycling? What can you do with recycling? How can we reuse things so that they don't go into the landfills? And things that, would generally help with the sustainability of the community. And community wellness really had to pivot because we were offering, this really great support system for migrant seniors. They would come into Centro and they kind of owned the place, really. Like they were the life of Centro. They came in and had lunch and did activities and did these walking programs. And so we changed it to, calling them, we're getting them laptops, iPads, stuff like that to get them connected, because a lot of the seniors really are like live in the homes of their of their youth, of their children, and so they don't have like all this, they don't have income and stuff. So we really saw that as an opportunity to respect and take care of our elders, and I'm so super glad that we still have this program. We also support with right now it's really critical. It's kind of like COVID-19 response, but we offer wraparound services. So when somebody gets COVID-19 or after quarantine, they can call Centro and we'll, pay for their housing, pay for everything, so that all they need to do is stay home and heal and just be okay, so that, we can recover and they don't have to risk other people as they're recovering from the illness. And so we helped, I think last year, 971 people pay for rent, and we're still helping people pay for rent because the economy still hasn't bounced back, so there's still like emergency needs of folks paying rent. And we set this up. It was really one of the interesting, I don't know how to explain it, but it was so heartwarming. I think when we had this emergency, we put out a call to action and we set up a fund where all of the donations would go directly to community members who would need them. And, it paid for just basic needs, like not just rent, it was like utilities and a phone bill, because if you don't have a phone, you can't communicate or get the latest COVID-19 information. So that was, that's like some of the programs in community wellness. And then for economic development, this is also another really core program at Centro. and we help hundreds of small businesses, minority-owned, female-owned businesses keep like their doors open and keep their employees on payroll, so that they don't have to close down. And also helping folks with unemployment claims and help people find high wage careers, because a lot of our community, we're doing essential work, but essential work is not it's not high paid labor. It's always, minimum wage or a little bit over. And so we're really trying to help folks get into those high paying clean manufacturing, nursing, all these really high demanded, also essential work, but that is paid more so that people can thrive and they can do better and meet their goals and meet what they really want to do. And in the pandemic, we had, I think it was about or a little under 300 job placements. So just helping people find that work. And youth development is, I think, where Angeles really wanted me to talk about the program. And so this is the program for 2nd to 12th grade youth. And it's really a program to support migrant youth in problem solving skills and coding skills and engineering skills. Because those are the kinds of work that is going to be more demanded in our economy. And so we really want the opportunity for people to have more of a platform in a culturally specific way, because a lot of the youth that we serve, they just migrated here, or they're seeking asylum or other things that they have a language barrier for school. And so they send us, the Forest Grove School Board and the Hillsborough School District, not the school board, sorry. The school district sends us youth who would who could benefit from our services. And so that's really awesome. And we do a robotics program, so people so youth can participate in tournaments, and every year they get better, and it's really cool to see their progress, because the first year they participated was maybe 5 years ago, and then they didn't play super well in the tournaments, and then this last year they were almost to get it to the national level. So it was really cool to see their progress. Let's see, and I talked a little bit about COVID response. So one of the things that we're doing now is the food distribution and addressing food security. And last year, 1,700 people benefited from Centro's, 17,000 people benefited from Centro's. We call it a free food mercado. So people can come up, drive in their cars, get food 5 days a week, fresh food like vegetables and fruit. And we just got a whole bunch of frozen chicken and stuff. So really wanting to make this nutritious meals that people can get. And we also deliver it to seniors and people who need that, who are high risk. So we'll deliver it. And another one's just a metric about prosperidad and the kinds of financing that we've been able to support small businesses in the pandemic. And for the future, we're really looking forward to being a key player in rebuilding the economy of Washington County, because it has really affected migrant communities as it has played out. So I mean, whether that's through supporting someone's health, their health needs, and also their economic needs as we develop into 2021. So thank you so much. And let me know if you have any questions, of anything to clarify, or anything about a specific program.
Does anyone have questions for Itzel? Please, if you do, take yourself off mute and just ask. No? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I think we're all, just being residents here, very familiar with the great work that Centro Cultural does, and can remember when there was, the little portable buildings out there and what it's grown into now. It's definitely an anchor in the community. So thank you for the work that you do.